uploading. Okay, so I've said earlier that you can upload your videos, your sounds, your work on the World Wide Web. All right, and it can be shared through the internet and can be viewed by many people through browsers. Okay, so uploading has made possible the massive sharing of what information, of ideas for free. Okay, like when I go to Google and I search for www dot, let's say for example youtube.com, right? There is a lot of videos, songs that are uploaded in YouTube for free, and I can access them. Okay, because the creators were able to upload, right? So uploading would mean sending up and out of products, ideas, often for free. Like say for example Wikipedia, like like an encyclopedia. All right, you would do blogging and you would upload it on YouTube, right? And the uploading is made possible by the development of softwares, like I've said earlier, where you can put in you can share ideas, products, okay, easily. All right. So the music in the West are also adopted in the Philippines, in Asia, or in the East because, right, of uploading. We are able to view this kind of music because they have uploaded it, right? And we have browsers to search for it. Okay, we have softwares to search, app that would enable us to listen and view this music. Just an example. Okay, so we are also more becoming westernized because of uploading. Not just westernized, but we have also come to learn about the culture of other people, the way of living of other people, because we have seen information that were uploaded in the web, information in the form of reading materials, so videos. Okay, so uploading has caused also the flattening of the world. More collaboration has been made possible because of uploading. All right, let's go to the next flattener. It's called outsourcing. Okay, so outsourcing is a business practice of hiring a third party outside of a company to perform services and create goods that were traditionally performed in-house by the company's own employees and staff. Okay, let's say for example, I originally produced Nike shoes in the United States. All right. Now I decided to just outsource the creation, the production of Nike shoes, and I will just sell it. Okay. So I would like to hire a third party company that will do it for me, right? So I can hire a third party company in another state. Like say I'm from Los Angeles, I would hire a third party company in California that will produce the goods for me, and I will just sell it. Okay, so that's just an example of outsourcing. You are hiring a third party company or a third party individual to do the work for you, which you were originally doing. Okay, so it's usually being done as a cost cutting measure. Let's say, for example, you were originally paying your employees for $10 an hour, okay, but if you would outsource the production of shoes to a third party and they are willing to uh, to let you pay them for $7 an hour, then that would be good. So you would just opt to outsource instead of hiring your employees, okay? But usually companies in industrialized countries would outsource. This is a practice that's going on now. Would outsource their production in another country, right? But what I'm trying to say here, outsourcing means you are hiring a third party company to perform the service, to produce what you were originally producing or what you were originally performing, so that you can save, okay? Para mabawasan yung cost ng production mo, okay? All right. So to understand outsourcing better, like say let's take a look at the Y2K virus, all right? The bug that that scared a lot of companies before, right? So it's a virus that threatens the software of companies in the USA, right? They cannot find a cure for it. They don't know how to stop it. However, we have India, who's known for um, people who are computer tech um, knowledgeable. They're computer technicians. They are computer tech savvy, right? And they were able to find a cure for the Y2K. Okay, they were able to find how they would discover how they would contaminate the virus. Okay, and from that on, right, these USA companies have thought of, why don't we just hire Indian people to secure our online platforms, to secure our or and manage our softwares, right? So Indians have become, what you call this, they've become in demand, all right? And let's say, for example, another example of outsourcing. Okay, you would you're a restaurant. Okay, there are people coming in and out of your restaurant to eat. However, you can choose to hire a third party company to cook for your restaurant, right? So they will just deliver the food in your restaurant, and what you serve it to the customers, right? That's an example of outsourcing. Let's say you have children and you have parents who are 70 years old, you really cannot care for them. So what you would do is to outsource the caring. You would pay a third party, what, maybe home for the aged. You would hire a third party yaya provider. All right, so that's an example of outsourcing. This is included in your activity, right? So it's the transfer of work from one company to another company, right? And usually it is transferred outside of the original country. Okay, so let's take a look at American companies who are outsourcing their customer service to a third party call center in the Philippines. In the US class, they have this customer protection law, right? So whenever you provide services, whenever you sell goods, products, it is a must that you have a customer service, okay? That department who will cater to the concerns of your customer, who will service your customers. Now, it would take, usually what they would do is they would just hire a call center company in the Philippines to provide the customer service. Okay, so what will they do? Right, they would top someone, a call center company in the Philippines, and would say, "Hey, would you manage our customer service department, and we will pay like $5 per hour." Okay, because if they do it in the United States, they would pay their their employees for like $10 an hour. So imagine saving $5. You are able to cut the cost, right? And you don't, kasi sa US guys, usually calls lang sila. They don't really go in store. Okay? So, pwedeng, it can be catered. Calls can just be routed to the Philippines and i-train mo lang yung Filipinos on how to answer. They should be knowledgeable of the products. Mag-training lang sila and then they would be able to answer the queries of the customer. They can even sell to the customers through telephone calls. Right? So, on that case, nakatipid ka na. Right? So, na-cut yung cost of production mo. Right? Let's say, for example, sales. Right? Usually, if gagawin mo yan in the US, you would hire employees to do the sales for you. Okay? Medyo mahal ang bayad mo sa kanila. But if you would outsource sales to the Philippines, let the Filipino people do the sales for you, okay? Then medyo magmumura yung nakabenta ka na, mura pa yung bayad mo sa kanila. Alright? So, why do foreign companies outsource in the Philippines, by the way? Nag-boom ang call center industry natin because Filipinos can speak English fluently as compared to other countries or neighboring countries in Asia. Okay? They say that Filipinos are also hardworking kahit sisigawan mo yan, kahit ang customer sinisigawan niya si Filipino, respectful pa rin sumagot si Filipino. Unlike kapag sumigaw si customer, American yung nakasagot, mag-aaway yan. Amerikano to Amerikano. Right? And then, we charge less. Okay? Less ang charge natin, pero yung quality ng work natin is still good. Alright? That's why we were found to be a good outsourcing destination. And this is good for the economy of the Philippines also. Why? Why do I say it's good? Because it provides employment for our people. In the Philippines, we have a lot of graduates. We have many graduates every year. However, kulang ng employment. Alright? The government cannot absorb all of these graduates. Our businesses, our Filipino corporations cannot really absorb them. And then, di naman sila lahat makakapag-abroad. Right? So, the call center industry has become an employment opportunity for many of our graduates. Okay? Millions ang na-absorb din ng call center industry na graduates natin. So, nababawasan yung poverty. Okay? Nakakatulong na tayo, right, to the economy. Right? Hindi nababawasan ng problema. Okay? So, however, ang downside niya would be if you would we depend a lot, okay, from the economy of other countries. If the economy is not really doing well, pwede silang magbawas ng employees nila dito sa Pilipinas or pwedeng mapasara o saan ulit natin dadalhin yung mga milyon-milyon nating graduates. Okay? So, with the booming of the call center industry, maraming pagpipilian ang ating mga graduates. Okay? Di naman lahat may employ as police, as political scientists, as local government employees. So, they can go to the call center. They can go to outsourcing. Di lang call center guys ang ina-outsource ha. Okay? We have programming. Okay? We have administrative assistants, ina-outsource din yan. Okay? In the US kasi hindi mo, or in other developed countries, they don't really need to come face-to-face with their assistants. Okay? Phone calls lang, emails lang, pwede mo nang gawin yung instruction nila. Okay? They will just train you. Right? Medyo ayaw nila nung harapan. They're okay with working with you virtually, working with you over the internet. So, it provides a lot of opportunities for our graduates, and the pay is higher, okay? Higher than what our local entrepreneurs or local businesses can pay, because these guys pay by the dollars, which is converted into Philippine peso. Ano pang ina-outsource ngayon? Even insurance. Pwede ka maging insurance agent, okay? US nga lang, or Australia, or Europe ang kinikater mo, not in the Philippines, okay? So, pwede ka maging software engineer, even civil engineer, even um, what nursing jobs are being outsourced also. Like, okay, you will keep the records of the customer. Pwedeng, pwede lang nilang itawag sa'yo, o handle mo tong account na to, alright? And whenever we need the data, provide it to us. So, halimbawa, marami kang i-handle na patients, okay? Or let's say, for example, guys, do you know that even the reading of x-rays are being outsourced? Like, they would take the x-ray in the United States, okay? Di ba naka-film yan? Okay, di-digitize lang nila yan, i-email na lang nila to somewhere, like say in the Philippines, and then babasahin ni technologist natin dito sa Pilipinas, and then yung diagnosis niya, email back niya lang doon. Okay? So, mas mura yung bayad nila sa kanya kaysa sa sarili nilang technologists doon sa US. So, there's a lot of works that are really being outsourced that could be done that are being done originally from one country but are now being outsourced to another country, right? And these are made possible because of softwares, of systems, of the internet. Okay, so napapadali lang siya of technology, like the production of Nike shoes. So originally sa US, sabihin na natin, and in-outsource nila sa Vietnam. Okay? So, kasi madali lang ang pag-transport ng raw materials and transport ng finished products. How about offshoring? Okay, so this is another flattener. Okay, so it's the practice of basing some of a company's processes of services overseas so as to take advantage of lower costs. So it's like outsourcing. Okay, however, for offshoring, you don't hire a third party. Okay, it's still yourself that who will produce the products or the service. However, it is based offshore, meaning abroad. Okay? Like moving one's factory to China. Okay? Halimbawa, ano ba ang US company or US producer? Halimbawa si Microsoft. Okay? US siya. Right? Now, some of the processes, magde-decide si Microsoft na dalhin na lang sa China para makamura siya ng bayad. Pero Microsoft pa rin siya. Yung i-hire niyang employees doon will be under Microsoft pa rin. You don't hire a third party. You just establish a production center in China. Okay? So, still, kasi cheap ang labor doon sa China, lower ang taxes, okay? Subsidized pa ang energy, ang babayaran mo sa kuryente and all your expenses in your production are lower, okay? So, it's still cost cutting, right? At saka yung healthcare costs, di mo na kailangang magbayad ng insurance para sa mga empleyado mo, medyo lower sa China. So, you decided to bring Microsoft or to establish a Microsoft branch in China. Sa outsourcing, guys, you hire a third-party company who will do the service for you. For offshoring, you just bring out or you just put up a branch overseas. You just transfer the operation of your business or you add a branch offshore or abroad. You don't hire a third-party company. So both of them, the target was to save or to cut the cost of production so that you will increase your earnings. Okay? So there, the difference. Contracting work to an external organization, that's for outsourcing. Offshoring, you just get the work done in a different country. But both of them was to lower cost or get work done faster. Okay? So, for outsourcing naman, yeah, you take advantage of specialized skills. Okay? Halimbawa, magagaling magbenta yung mga Pilipino. So, you outsource the sales of insurance to the Philippines. Halimbawa, magagaling yung mga Indians sa computer. Okay? So, you outsource the security of your, halimbawa, banking system to India. So, hindi na mga engineers, software engineers ng US ang gagawa kasi mahal ang bayad. Doon na lang sa India. Anyway, iisang system lang naman ang gagamitin. So, see the advantages of it, of outsourcing and offshoring for countries or companies that are developed. Okay, so for insourcing, guys, it's also a new form of collaboration. Okay, so you synchronize the whole company and the interaction with both customers and suppliers. Like say for example, kailangan na nating mag-create ng quality department kasi maraming customers ang nagrereklamo. So what will you do? You would insource. Like you would train people within your company to create a quality department. That's what you call insource. You don't outsource. You will not take advantage. You will not hire a third party company to provide the service for you. But what will you do is you will create your own department. Okay, you will train your own people. That is what you call insourcing. Okay, 8 flattener, informing. It's the ability to build and deploy your own personal supply chain of information and entertainment. So, under informing, there is no discrimination in accessing knowledge. Informing, guys, example Google. Okay? It's very easy to be informed because of the information that are uploaded in Google. So, there is a supply chain of information and entertainment. Okay, so you can search easily. You can even search the first wife of what? The first wife of the Prince of Saudi Arabia. Okay, pwede mong i-search siya. The wife of yung mga crush nyo na Hollywood actors. The birth date of your crush that is a who is a Korean actor. So that is informing. So you can access whatever information that you like, okay, because of informing. It doesn't need, hindi mo kailangang magkaroon ng 1 million na pera or hindi mo kailangang maging graduate para maka-access ng information. No, okay? It's easily done. Okay, now you just need to have your internet and your device, right? But is it good or bad? You can easily take private information, right? And use it for what? If you use it, siguro if you use it for like inspiration, for information, for education, it's good. But if for other intentions, manloloko ka ng tao, and informing becomes bad. 9. Flattener. New technology. Steroids. These are new technologies that amplify and turbocharge all other flatteners. Okay? So, steroids can be your mobile phones. Okay? The wireless technology that enabled instant messaging and file sharing. Hindi mo na kailangang mag-connect sa desktop computer so you can upload. Now, because you have a wireless meron ng Wi-Fi, meron ng mobile phone, then you can just do what you need. Okay? So these are examples of steroids. Okay? They have turbocharged all the other flatteners. They are new technologies that makes it easier for us to communicate. Okay? Like or how should these steroids empower collaboration? Uploading has become more open. I can upload my lecture on YouTube. Okay, because meron ng YouTube app. Di ko na kailangang mag-browser. Mag-app na lang ako. Okay, so these steroids has also enhanced outsourcing. Okay, there has become an easier collaboration between company departments because they just use their technology, right? So we have also steroids, apps that can enhance what? Video collaboration. Meron ka ng messenger, pwedeng video calls. You can just share your pictures, your images. Meron ka ng app like Beauty Plus. You can manipulate your images and make your short hair become long hair in the picture. So these are steroids class. 10th flattener, supply chaining. Supply chaining is a method of collaborating among suppliers, retailers, and customers to create a value. Supply chaining meaning you would collaborate with suppliers, with retailers, okay, para magkaroon ng added value, okay, whatever it is that you are producing. So, under supply chaining, guys, we have economic chains and networks. So again, economic chains and networks, you have supply chains. These are value-adding activities in the production process. Okay, like a supply chain, you will begin with raw materials. Okay, cotton muna, raw material siya. And then, anong susunod? Binigay mo sa next na stage. Binili ni factory yung cotton mo. Ginawa niyang tela. So, yung 10 pesos per kilo mo, binili ni factory ng 10 pesos per kilo, ginawa niyang tela, ngayon ibebenta na naman niya to another paggawaan ng damit. Okay? So, yung binenta niya sa the cotton that was bought from you for 10 kilos, it became tela. Okay? Binenta niya ngayon sa clothing factory ng let's say 80 pesos per yard. Okay? So, nagkaroon ng additional value, right? Yung raw materials kasi naging tela na siya, nagkaroon na siya ng there was a value adding activities or value adding activity that happened and it added value, nagmahal na siya. From 10, naging 80 kasi naging tela na siya. Tapos, etong si factory na bumili dun sa tela, ginawa niyang barong. Okay, binenta niya for 500 pesos each barong. Right? So, you see how the value adding activity was made on that example. Right? So, that's an example of supply chain from the cotton grower, cotton farmer, to the tela factory, to the clothing factory. Okay? Alright. We also have what you call, under economic chains and networks, we also have international production networks. So these are networks of producers involved in the process of producing a finished product, like a multinational corporation. Like multinational corporation. So binenta natin ng 500 yung barong. Okay? So, in-export natin siya in the US. Okay? So, yung nag-import na pinag-exportan natin, ibebenta niya ng mas mahal. Okay? Mas mahal to their high-end customers. So, binenta nila ng, let's say, $200. Kasi maganda yung gawa mo. That's an example of international production networks. Okay? Like, say, for example, the creation of cars. Merong tagagawa ng engine. Okay? Merong tagagawa ng sound system. Right? Merong tagagawa ng case, okay, ni sasakyan, tagagawa ng upuan, and could be that this could be from different countries. So, gagawa siya ng 10 upuan. 10 upuan. Gagawa rin siya ng 10 sound system. Gagawa siya ng 10 manibela. right? And they just ship it to, let's say, Japan, okay? And they will just assemble in Japan, right? That's an example of international production networks. And the networks, the people who are doing this are are from multinational corporations. Example lang siya, okay? All right, global commodity chains. They are buyers of products who will later on sell the products they bought under their brand names. Halimbawa, example natin ng sasakyan kanina. So, inassemble sa Japan. Okay? Ngayon, si Toyota ng Japan will buy the assembled car. Okay? And will put in its name as Toyota and then will sell it. Okay? Distribute it to different countries again. That's what you call global commodity chains. They are buyers of products who will sell the finished products under their brand names. They don't necessarily assemble the product, okay? They will just buy the finished product and put in their name on it and then resell it, okay, to customers. You call them as manufacturer without factories. Pero si example lang yung kanina guys, si Toyota, what I know, nag-produce siya ng sarili niyang product. Okay, global value chains. This highlights the value of economic activities that are required to bring a good or service from conception through different phase of production. Parehas lang siya kanina ni supply chain. Medyo, yung example ko nga lang kanina, as you bring it to another level or to another country, magmamahal siya. Okay? Nag-a-add siya ng value in the form of money. Right? Kasi binili mo kay yung tela, binili ni factory dito sa Pilipinas ng 80 per yard. Binenta niya. Okay? Yung binenta niya 80 per yard. Yung bimili, 500 per barong na. Okay? Nagkaroon na ng added value yon. Now, kapag in-export mo siya to the US, kasi you spent for the transportation, for the communication, okay, for the packaging. Pagdating doon, okay, or bebenta mo siya sa US, mahal na, hindi na lang 500. Siguro 500 dito sa Pilipinas. But if you export it to the US, maybe 1,000, okay? And the importers from the US will resell it to the customers at a higher value. Okay? That's just an example of global value chains. Medyo complicated siya, guys. But, maiintindihan nyo rin siya as we go on and take a look at the trade relations between China and the US. Scrap metals, like aluminum and copper scrap. Okay? Yung mga scrap ng US na aluminum and copper, right? Dadalhin natin sa China, right? I-recycle ng China, to-turn nila into metal products. Gagawin nilang yung scrap ng US, dinala sa China. Si China, i-recycle siya. Gagawin niyang grills, yung scrap metals, gagawin niyang, ano pa ba? Pwede, frying pans, basta made of metals, okay? Pots, pwede niyang gawing casing of new cars, okay? So, they just recycle it and turn it into a finished product. And these products will be shipped back to the US. Pero, iba na yung presyo niya, okay? So, according to Seabrook, most of the materials that goes to China from the US or other countries are turned into various products. And these are shipped back to the US or to the other countries and sold as new products with higher price. And then, itong mga products na ito, may scrap na naman sila, magiging garbage na naman sila. O, kukuhanin na naman, dadalhin na naman sa China to be recycled. The process is repeated again and again. Okay, so yung skyscrapers daw ng China class, buildings of China that are high, were made of scrap materials from the US. So see how innovative they are. Okay? So why China? In my example, okay? Because people there are willing to do the dirty works that most industrialized countries are not willing to do so. Like most Americans would refuse to do at a low wage. Si China, sige lang, tanggap lang siya ng tanggap. Okay lang yung kahit mababa yung bayad. Right? That's why you look at their economy. They are growing. Okay? Another example of economic chains and networks, global value chains and value. Yung example natin, yung ABCD natin. Paper waste from the US. Okay? So one of the richest women in the world, accordingly, is Chang Yin. And the source of her wealth is her business. Okay? Yung Nine Dragon paper. By the way, this example was taken from our reference. Okay? And it takes Nine Dragon paper would take mountains of paper waste from the US and ship it to China. And China would recycle those papers into boxes. Okay? And pag nagawa na si boxes, ibebenta nila siya. Syempre yung mga bibili, it's in demand because we use boxes to ship foods, goods to various places around the world. You cannot transport products to around the world without using boxes. Okay? So once those boxes have arrived to their destinations in different parts of the world, it will be unpacked. Okay? So saan mo pa siya gagamitin? It will turn into scrap again. Okay? And kukuhanin siya ng basurero, bebenta. Okay? And then kukuhanin ni Changhin or ni Nine Dragon paper sa US, and the process begins all over again. Okay? So that's an example of global value chains. Meron pa ako dito example, cotton harvest. Sa Asia, i-harvest si cotton, dadalhin sa in another country, let's say in China, ipaprocess niya, gagawin niyang damit. I-export ni China sa Australia, US, Europe, Philippines, na tapos na, finished product na siya. Okay? So, pwedeng bumalik sa Asia ulit. Yung ginawang cotton ni Asia, naging damit, ibebenta rin kay Asia. So, cotton lang ang in-export mo. Tapos, ang in-import mo, finished product na. Mas mahal na yung bayad. Okay? Binenta mo yung cotton 10 per kilo. Okay? Tapos, you imported clothings na magkakano, mas mahal. Right? So, the effect of globalization to the economy class it was the increase of global flows of consumption. Okay? Products are available, services are available, so people would consume. Okay? Luxuries were made available. Kaya we have tendency of hyperconsumption. Okay? We buy more than what we can afford because it's available in the market. Okay? So, even though we don't have the money, we like it because it's so beautiful, it's comfortable. Okay? We keep on buying. We use credit cards. We utang so that we can buy. That's what you call hyper debt. You owe more than what you can pay back. Hyperconsumption, you buy more than what you can afford. So these are the effects of the globalization of economy. Nagkaroon ng increase on the flow of consumption. And eventually, merong hyperconsumption tsaka hyper debt. Next, decrease of barriers to the flow of consumption. So, like credit cards were made available so that consumers can easily buy. Okay? When you don't have cash, just utang using your credit card and then you pay back later. Okay? That's an example of decrease of barriers to the flow of consumption. Re-remedyohan para makabili ka. Okay? So that, right, more is consumed. Okay? Okay, so if you have questions, just send me a message and I will, of course, answer. It's a little bit complicated, but you will later on, of course, understand more of the global economy as we go on to our into our next lesson, which is market integration. Okay, so if there are things that are unclear or if you need more explanation, just send me a message. Thank you for listening.